Independent fact-checking and corrections are encouraged.
Can we get a cup of coffee in here, please?
Oh, that's good coffee.
Damn good coffee and hot.
Yeah.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with the Dog. You make me laugh.
All right, go ahead, laugh. You said I make you laugh. Go ahead, laugh. That's not it. I'm a lumberjack, and I'm okay. Look at that. Good morning, folks. It is Wednesday, November 22nd, 2023. Actually, 60 years from November 22nd, 1963, which is a date that will live in infamy, although that's not the date where FDR said would live in infamy. It has lived in infamy. And here's the deal. You still don't know the truth. Your government, and Jordan Peterson still knows the truth too. Your government still has not told you the truth about what happened 60 years ago today. And they never will. They never will. They were mandated by law to release all the information. I think it was 8 years ago now, more than 8 years ago. Still have not released the information. So we don't know what happened. We never will know what happened. But here's one thing we do know for sure. The greatest coincidence in the history of humanity had to have happened 60 years ago today. And by that, I mean the placement in a job of the one person who had prepared to kill President Kennedy just happened to get placed in a job that put him in the exact spot to do such a thing. He did it 6 weeks in advance. The parade route was changed a day in advance. So it's an incredible coincidence, if you believe the government story, that Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone, that he would be fortuitous enough to get a job at the Texas Book Depository and have access to the 6th floor window in a little sniper's nest there when his prime target that he ordered a gun to kill the guy weeks in advance just happened to be just driving by nice and conveniently, open air for him to shoot. Man, you don't get coincidences and luck like that all the time. So congratulations to Mr. Oswald on his lucky streak. Of course, it ended a few days later when Jack Ruby said, "You're out of luck, son." But the point I'm making here is you have to believe in like magic and rabbit's foots and all that kind of stuff to believe the government story. But here we are, 60 years later, still don't know the truth. Congratulations. We have a show for you today that is I'm not really sure. We're roasting we're talking pre-roast with a friend of Willie's by the name of Ian something Smith. Reichling. I'm sorry. Who is going to be roasted Saturday night in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I tried to do some digging on Mr. Smith on the internet, and there's precious little. So I don't really know. I know he's got red hair. I think I know his politics by looking at his Facebook page, and that's about it. And I'm curious. Listen, you can roast anybody, but will I understand the roast? Would the general public understand some of the jokes of the roast if we don't know the gentleman being roasted? We'll find out. We'll talk about that kind of stuff. I wasn't expecting to have much of a show today. We are on PBMTV. Man, I'm still waking up. Uh, this is our second day on PBM TV. We were supposed to be on Monday. There was a technical glitch, but we're on now. The morning show on PBM TV. If you're on PBM TV right now, and I see we are streaming live there and have lots of people, lots of eyes on us over there. If you are an artist in the PBM TV, it's a lot too many letters for me to say. If you're an artist on the network and you want to be a guest on the show, drop us a line at info@minddogtv.com or go to minddogtv.com/booking and fill out the form there. And we'd be happy to have you on. Um, as you know, unless you live under a rock or uh, just not in touch with humanity at all. In the United States here, tomorrow is Thanksgiving. We give thanks by uh, wasting a lot of food, wasting a lot of money on crap that we don't want. We get prepared for getting online to waste money on toys the next day and do some ridiculous shopping and buying stuff for people uh, close to us that they will never use, but we think it will make a nice gift and they'll love us if we get them a I don't know, Xbox. Well, if you get them an Xbox, they'll use that. But we do waste an awful lot of money, and it's this is how we show our thanks and show our thanks for what when we are always angry about how bad things are. What exactly are we thankful for? I think it might help to actually elaborate on the things we are thankful for. And I'm going to start right now. I know it's a day early, but let's do it. I am thankful for my wife. I'm thankful for this home I have, at least temporarily, while I still am on this planet. This is my home, and I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for all my family. I'm grateful for my friends. I'm grateful for the support of you people. I'm grateful for the support of Willie and GD, and occasionally the Rev. I'm grateful for all the guests that have been kind enough to come on the program and the opportunities I have had to meet some really amazing people. And that's why we do this. So thanks for being here. Thanks for being part of it. And I hope you will take the time to elaborate and sincerely think about what you have to be thankful for. Want to talk about one thing before I bring Willie into the conversation in the room. Um, NASA, yes, NASA may pay up to $1 billion to destroy the International Space Station. Here's why. Basically, they've been listening to the program. They heard Willie's take on what we're doing in space, and they said, "You know what? Fuck this. It's not worth it." I'm lying. I'm lying. I'm just dastardly lying. They are taking it apart because they're afraid it's going to fall on you and me and all those things I was thankful for. They were going to take that right away by having this, I don't know, 450-ton piece of metal floating around that's getting ready to fall. We don't know where it's going to fall, but it'll probably fall on Shoreham, New York. So beware of that. Watch for could happen any moment now. But don't look up. Anyway, they're going to take it apart, paying $1 billion to do it. Now that creates opportunities. If you want a job going up to low space and taking apart this thing, this big monstrosity that we spend so much money to launch and get out there and assemble out there since I believe in 1998 is when it first reached orbit. I don't know. I got to check on my facts on that. But I guess it's outlived its usefulness. or it's just getting ready to fall, or both. Um, so the jobs out there, if listen, if you're the kind of guy who wants to go, work on an oil rig for big money for adventure, this could be even more big money and bigger adventure. Something to think about. Anyway, I mentioned Willie and his space, big big space dreams. Let's find out what planet Willie is on today. Good morning, Willie. Oh,
Good
Merry!
morning.
You got your Christmas tree up already.
I mean, this isn't my house, but yeah.
And it's a little crooked, or no, no. It
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 might be a little crooked.
maybe
I
just
mean, this chair seems straight.
look. That's the clearest picture we've ever had of you, and you're in a nice, comfortable chair. You're doing.
Yeah,
You're looking kingly over there. I
yeah.
don't know,
No,
king.
I was like, ooh, this is a great setup. Matt'll be super happy. I knew that you would love this.
Yeah, I do. I do love that. Or what are you on, a laptop or something? Or 'cause
No, I'm on my phone, but I'm just able to set it up in a way that, and actually, it's really funny because it's on one of those old style, um, like I don't want to say a spittoon or whatever, but it's the Rock Island Iron Company have made like a seat, like a weird kind of seat thing. I don't know, or plow company, I guess. I don't know. I can show it to you, and then I have a nice little Garfield that's holding up the phone as it sits on that. So
nice. Now,
yeah, Garfield is helping out the show today.
I wanted to question you about a post that I think Kelly. Well, you posted it, but Kelly shared it for you yesterday. That had a bunch of dates on it.
Yeah.
And I couldn't figure out what the hell they want. Now, where? Oh, here it is. Uh, Black Flag Studios is the one I wanted to ask you about. What the hell is that? Is that a public show? What? Or it sounds like
It
it's a
is a public
recording.
show. Black Flag Studios is actually a tattoo parlor that has like a nice little lounge area. So it's a smaller place. That's actually I went to a show there last night. In fact, I met Nick Eugene Densmore, which I'm sure we'll talk about in a little bit. I'm very excited about that. You're going to be excited too. Um, but yeah, it's a nice little tattoo shop that's got like a side room that's got some very comfortable. There's some couch. We also brought in some chairs and stuff. We're going to be doing a clean show there, like a no alcohol show there
Oh,
on January 12th. I'm very excited for that because it's
when you said
very
clean show, I was thinking no cursing, no, and I'm like, in a tattoo parlor, that just seems like the
yeah,
tattoo
yeah, yeah,
parlor is a
no.
place I would go to hear cursing.
Right, yeah, no, not clean show in that way. It's a no alcohol show.
I just came for the cursing. I don't really want a tattoo. I just want to hear people
Right.
say "fuck." That's all.
I'm really excited about it because the location of that is in very close proximity to a couple of the 12-step meeting places in town, and so we're gonna push the start time to 9:30 so that when those 8 o'clock meetings come out, people from those meetings can just come right to
All
the show
coffeeed
because it's
up and
literally just down
cigaretted
the
up.
street.
Now, is there smoking in the place? Because they got, they have to have their cigarette immediately after
uh,
the meeting.
no, I don't think you can because I was there last night and I went outside to smoke and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. You would. I've never thought about doing a smoke break. We could do an intermission maybe because you're right. Addicts, man, they need that. They need
You
that
bet.
fucking nicotine. It's the only thing they got left.
Yeah, right. Well, and they say you should never quit smoking when you're trying to go through, giving up other
Right,
stuff.
right.
So,
Oh, and coffee. They have coffee. And speaking of which,
so
Mine Dog Coffee. I don't always drink coffee, but
oh,
when I do, it makes me warm inside.
well, I wonder. The Rev is listening on the radio today, or at least said he would be listening on the radio today. I wonder if he's going to sue you now for trademark infringement on his morning bit. But you didn't say gives you the shit, so. Um,
I,
Black Flag Studios,
I,
though. Now, I played a tattoo parlor once. It was an experiment for them. They wanted to have live music in there, and it did not go well. Nobody wanted me there, and I was just an annoyance to people who were. And I think they lost business because.
Well, it's not during like their shop hours. So like it's after the shop is closed already. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's kind of like an after hours deal, but it is open to the public.
Gotcha. Club David, what is that? It sounds like I don't know. It sounds like a Jewish thing to me.
Actually, yeah, no, far from it. Club David is actually kind of the local gay bar. You would say,
Gay
for
Jews,
sure.
gay Jews,
What?
gay Jews.
Yeah, maybe, perhaps, yeah.
All
And
right.
I'm very excited. That's where the roast is, and I've been there. I've performed there a few times. I've been there for some other shows. This will be the first time I get to perform on their main stage, though. That wasn't karaoke. I did do karaoke there once, but so I'm excited to do their main stage at Club David. So,
All right. Do you do any gay centric material?
oh, I'm totally going to.
Oh
Totally
yeah.
going to. Yeah. Matter of fact, I love going to Club David because every time go to Club David, it helps me grow as a person. Because just walking in the door, I realize just how gay I really am. Because they have like a small statuette replica of David from Michelangelo's David. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And every time I see that thing,
You.
I want to give that smooth, solid shaft a tug, and
I thought
that's
it was.
pretty
I
gay.
thought it was broken off. Isn't it broken off?
This one, no, okay, so the original is broken off because that was done by one of the like leaders or whatever because they thought it was indecent. So yeah, it you don't remember, you don't know that story?
Well,
Yeah.
no, I don't know that story, but it's just odd that you would think a guy would think a penis is indecent. Well, rip your own off if you think it's indecent. Uh,
Well, I think it was the way I think I can't remember which ruler it was that had it broken off, but I think that he went through like a conversion during his reign, and when he went through that conversion, he went like uber like decency kind of stuff, and that's why he broke the dick off of David.
broke the dick off of David.
Yeah.
All right, I'll come back to your schedule here, but now you just reminded me of a thought I had because last week I went to see Firefall and Pure Prairie League, and they looked like old women on stage, and I thought to myself, well, transgenderism you don't need an operation. You just have to wait long enough because if
Yeah,
you
you just gotta wait.
at 80 or something, men start to look like women and start to grow tits, and and women in their 80s start to grow beards and mustaches. I think if you just wait long enough, you don't need an operation. You just become a transgender eventually anyway. That was my theory, and I'm testing it by checking the size of my tits every day. So far,
I've
there.
never wanted to die young more in my life.
Uh, this Windy City Bites, is that in Chicago?
No, but it is. So the owner of that place is from Chicago, and so like he named it Windy City Bites as an homage to where he's from.
Ah,
Um, but that's a great venue. They just put in a new stage at that place. I haven't seen it yet, so I'm excited to check that out. I've performed there a couple times
well,
already.
it's a
Uh,
restaurant, or because Bites makes it seem like it's probably a
yeah,
restaurant,
no, it's a bar and it's like a bar and a small. It's not like a restaurant, but they
not a
have.
comedy club. But
No, no, but they do a ton of performance events and stuff like that. And this that December 16th, I think, is the day of that show, and that's a toy drive show. All you have to do is bring a new toy for the
well,
admission, and we're gonna give the toys to the JCs so they can hand them out for the holidays to needy families and stuff.
and the last
But
date you got on here is January 13th at the Icon Lounge. Now, first of all, what is the Icon Lounge? Is that a
The icons,
bar?
it that is it's a bar and performance space. They have a few different stages. That's actually the venue that I did the dope show at, like two or three different times. It's a really nice spot. I like that a lot. That's where we had that Alex Hooper show that nobody came
Oh,
to.
school's out and no more Mr. Nice Guy. That one.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. No,
Hooper,
I'm, I'm
Hooper.
surprised. I'm surprised nobody goes to that. He's still kind of a big star in the classic rock world. Um, so
Yeah.
I know. I'm not letting that go. January 13th. Now, that are you going to be there until in the middle of January at least?
No,
Is
no,
that,
no, no, no. I
you
will. I will
going back
go
and forth?
home. Yeah. Well, I got to go home for Christmas. I can't. I can't. Like.
I'll be home
Yeah.
for
Yeah. I
Christmas.
really would love to do some Christmas shows because I'm really good at singing Christmas music and stuff like that. Um,
I would shoot
like
you.
not just comedy wise. I mean, music wise, I would love to do some like
I
Christmas
would
stuff.
shoot you. Now I'm.
What do you?
I would shoot you for. I hate Christmas music, but eh, what did you do? Like it came to me last night. I'm playing Affinity this afternoon, which is a place I played last year, and you had done a Christmas song, and it was on my phone. And I was walking out to the parking lot. I heard it. I thought it was on the speaker. I thought the fucking place was playing this. It was Christmas time. What was this? It wasn't Little Drummer Boy. What the hell?
No, let me think, because it was one of the
Wasn't
ones I
White
released
Christmas.
on Star Maker. Um, I'm trying to think of the two, because there was like two big ones that I did
Little
that I
Drummer
actually
Boy.
put on
No,
YouTube.
it wasn't Little Drummer Boy. Or
You know who should know is the president of my fan club. I bet you she knows what songs
Yeah.
I
So
like,
anyway, I
so she can look
remember
it up
like
for us.
I remember being like, because I have today I have to go to Infinity, and even
I
though
think
it's
it was
not
a
even
Josh Groban
Thanksgiving yet,
cover.
I have to play one or two Christmas carols. I hate Christmas music. I think it's the worst music. It's so contrived and full of bullshit. It's not, I just don't like it. So I would shoot you if I
I don't
saw
think it
you.
was that one. I think it was the other one. She said "Mary, did you know?" But I think it was the other one.
No, it was Mary. Do you know? That's right.
Oh,
Did you know? That's right.
oh, I sang that a cappella. I'm pretty sure that
Yeah,
you're talking about
It
the
was
Josh
a
Groban.
cappella. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then it was Mary. Mary, did you know? I That's one of my favorite songs to sing though, because it's
Yeah,
like I
but
love to
sing it
sing
in
because
your
it's such a.
house, not in a bar, not in a club. Don't make me see you doing it in public because then I will get out my AR-15. I will take out everybody in the club, and then I will be in jail for the rest of my life, and that's how the story ends. What?
uh,
Anyway, I'm sorry I sang "I'll Be Home for Christmas" already. I sang one line of it, and I'm already disgusted with
if you
myself.
killed me over Mary, did you know? It would just be it would be Kelly Van Eaglehoven making it happen from like he probably did a voodoo thing to get somebody else to kill me over the song because that's the
Right.
song I almost got shanked over in prison because there was this guy named Kelly that he was a lifer and he'd been in for a long time and he used to always sing the Mary Did You Know and like that was his number to do during the holiday season. Well, a couple of weeks before our big holiday service, we were singing it just as a regular song during service, the whole praise team. Well, the music director heard me singing it and wanted me to sing it instead of Kelly that year. And he got super mad. Dude, he came to my house with his boots on, like ready to go. And I
Wow.
was just like, bro, I didn't tell her that I want, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and I'm not gonna tell her I'm not gonna do it. It was a weird situation.
No,
So he
that's
got
just that's crazy. Is and that was kind of
well,
the
it is,
thing
yeah,
that's similar to the same thing that Landau and Kevin Brennan did on that radio show. Kevin Brennan was mad
sure,
that Landau got the gig
yeah,
with Cumia. It's like it's not,
right.
you're right, wrong, angry at the wrong guy. If you're gonna be angry at all, be angry at the guy who's doing the hiring, not the guy who took the job. Uh,
Well, yeah, but especially from a inmate perspective, he can't really express that towards the music director because that's an outside volunteer, and if you get kind of out of pocket with one of them, you're going to have some problems. It was much easier for him to come to me and try and make it an issue with me or whatever, but from I understood why it bothered him. You know what I mean? As lifers especially, when you're in prison, you don't have a whole lot. There's not a whole lot that's like yours or whatever.
I'm
There's
shocked to hear that. I thought in prison was
not.
fucking the life
but
of Wiley.
but what I'm saying though is that like so the few things that you feel like you do have when somebody comes along and takes that from you, it hurts a little more. It's a bigger shot.
Wow. Chavola says your tree is a Republican tree because it's hanging to the right, leaning to the right. But let's keep in
That would
mind.
make sense for this house. I'll tell you that.
Well, let's keep in mind that the image is reversed, so it's actually leaning to the left.
Yeah, it's a
But
left leaning tree.
but by that logic, Bill Clinton would be a Republican because, according to Monica, no, it wasn't Monica. It was Paula Jones who said Clinton's dick took a right turn on, not leaning to the right. It took a right turn, like it had a
Oh,
twist in it.
he's got a weird looking dick.
Yeah, a
Yeah, see,
bent dick.
I got a pretty good curve to. I got a pretty good natural looking curve to mine. I don't know. I took a really good shot last night. We'll have to see.
Mine has become a turtle. It's like it's hibernating for the winter or
They
something.
do
I
that.
don't know.
They
Yeah,
do
yeah.
that sometimes.
Well, it's cold outside, baby. It's
Hey,
cold
baby, it's
outside.
cold outside.
Now,
I don't think we can sing that song anymore.
no, you can. This is what because Steve Byrne, who's been on this program, comedian, he was going off on the "Baby It's Cold Outside" thing on Twitter the other day, and I was like, dude, you're like 5 years late on that fucking joke. Everybody
Right,
told that
right.
joke, and the ban has been lifted. It wasn't banned universally. It was banned on some radio stations decided not to play it, but I think all but one have backtracked on that now, and it's okay to play that. Well, I know it was bullshit to begin with, but the idea to bring this song up again now after it's all done, it's like making jokes about Nixon now. Like, what the fuck? That's outdated, dude. You gotta
Listen,
update your material.
I wrote a Brian Adams joke this year. I don't know why that happened. Like,
Brian Adams is Summer '69.
yeah, that guy. Yeah,
Because there's
I wrote
another
a
Brian.
joke about
There's
him.
another Brian Adams who doesn't like that people bring up the real Brian. He's a Canadian singer-songwriter, and his name happens to be Brian Adams, and he's had some success, but he hates when he goes to concerts and people bring up Brian Adams. Like, dude, if that's your problem, change your fucking name because he was a
Yeah, no
star.
kidding.
Yeah,
Because I mean,
what do you expect?
you're not gonna outshine the fucking dude who made Kevin Costner a fucking, like, dude. I remember when Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves came out. Like, dude, that's actually how I even got into Brian Adams. If
Right.
I'm being honest, like, and like, you're not gonna hold up to that, bro. Like, get real. you know?
Mike says the Clinton days were the worst thing happening in the White House was a blowjob in the Oval Office. I promise you, Bill Clinton was not the first one to get a blowjob in the Oval Office. He's the first
Yeah,
one that people have come out and he's the first one to leave a jizz stain on a blue dress that got him fucking and talk about I probably the first guy to insert a cigar in a woman in the Oval Office. I'll probably give you that. But I'm betting JFK got a few Hummers in the Oval Office and probably several people before him. I think
yeah.
I think even FDR in his chair got one or two. I don't know that for a fact, but I think so because I know FDR and Eleanor was kind of like Bill Clinton and Hillary, a marriage of convenience. Listen to me talking like I know. I'm not. I don't fucking know this shit. It has been really vigorously speculated that both were marriages of convenience, and I would think that's probably true, especially in the Clinton case. But Eleanor, I think, was a lesbian, or at least that's what they say. So she got married to FDR to help his campaign or something. I don't know. Well, she was very active in the causes he was working for. Anyway, you're traveling now. Are you in Sioux Falls or are you in that
I
little
am in.
town?
I'm on the edge of Sioux Falls today, but yeah.
How you getting around? You taking public transportation? What do you do?
Uh, no, I have friends. I have a lot of friends. I lived here for like a long time, so
So,
I mean,
so
some
you
people know me.
give me a ride type of guy. Hey, give me a ride, or are they going with you, or they performing with
Well,
you?
no, I mean, generally, people want to hang out and do stuff or whatever. So yeah, they just kind of snag me or whatever. And, I mean, I do it in a way. See, listen, this is the thing, and I've talked about this before, or when I'm out here, and because you kind of got on me a little bit about, and I think this might have been like when you first put me in the freezer, some of the stuff you were saying or whatever. But
Oh,
you know, I think it says a lot about who I am as a person that I have so many, friends and stuff like that that are willing to accommodate me. But the
oh.
reason that they're willing to accommodate me is because I also accommodate them in all the ways that I can.
You mean
And
you mean tug job?
well, sure, the tugs, blowies, whatever,
All right.
little winking of the brown eye sometimes,
I don't know. Probably. I think if you're gonna ask me for a ride to like whatever the barber shop, let's just say, I think
Well, I'm generally
it's gonna
getting
take like 5 tug jobs per one ride. I think.
well, okay, but see, I guess what you're not like, I'm smart enough to know when my friend, because a lot of the friends that I have are doing very similar things to what I'm doing. So I'm just riding along to, you know what I'm saying? I just, I don't know why that's confusing or whatever. I mean,
Yeah, no, no,
it,
no. I'm looking at phew, on Twitter. This is so fucking brutal. A guy who is a little person with no arms and apparently lots of other physical disabilities or challenges. He's in a train station and he blows out the N word, and then this big old black guy kicks him it kicks him like a kidney punch. But the guy and they're saying, is this justified? And like the guy's throwing around the N word around a bunch of black people. He's a white kid, obviously, but he's got no arms. He's kind of
okay,
walking.
but listen, um, just because you and this is something that people need to fucking learn. You know what I mean? Like, just because you have a certain disability or this, that doesn't give you a fucking pass on what the fuck ever. And you
I
never know, like you
I
don't
totally
know
agree
how
with.
someone else is gonna react.
I
You know
totally
what I
agree
mean?
with you there, but I would say if just because somebody says something that pisses you off or hurts you doesn't give you the
Yeah,
right
it
to
doesn't mean you
kind
have
of
a right to hurt them either. Yeah, no, I agree with that as
physically
well.
attack them.
Right. Yes.
But
But
it's
at the
just,
same time,
I gotta
like,
share
you
this
got to be
video.
mindful that you don't know how everybody's going to be. I literally, I don't know if I told you this. I'm sure I told you this. A few months ago, a friend of mine was shot. I shouldn't say a friend of mine, but a guy that I was roommates with. We were roommates in prison when I was in Springfield for probably about 2 or 3 months. And like, we weren't buddy buddies, but you get to know a guy when you're cellmates with him or whatever. But that dude got shot in the fucking face for using the fucking N word. You know what I mean?
Wow,
And like, what is that a severe overreaction from the guy who shot? Well, of course it is. And now he ruined his life because now he's going to go to prison forever over a word. And
right?
and and the guy that I used to be roommates with is dead over a
Let's
word.
let's see if I can share this. Yeah, here it is. Watch this. I don't. Can you see this?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it'll come up. I see a circle thing right now.
Oh, I want to let it loop a couple of
Yeah,
times
here he's
here so
coming.
people. I got the sound off. So.
I mean, yeah, I mean, he's just being super reckless and stuff.
Whoa, look at that shit.
Oh,
Yeah, but
and I mean, he didn't do more. I mean, I don't think that's too much. That's a hey, I'm gonna let you know you need to stop that shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, that'll fucking learn you. I bet you don't say that shit for 2 weeks.
yeah, I think maybe, but it just seems
But
like
and that's the sad part. Is it like he'll probably not say it for maybe a month tops. and then he'll be back to saying it because you can't fix stupid, as Ron White used to
That's
say.
true. And the thing is,
Because you're dumb if you do that.
the guy who's
You,
doing the kicking there probably you see there's a difference between again I'm not condoning
right.
racism or
And
anything.
I mean, I
There's
don't
a difference
necessarily
between
condone it
using a
either, but I
word.
understand it.
Yeah, that's assault, and that guy could probably go to jail, especially since now there's a video being shred about it. Uh, there's a smarter way to deal with those people, and
Exactly. Yeah.
well, wow, that just seems so fucking brutal. I mean, it looked like a kidney punch with a kick, and the guy
Yeah.
doing it he looked definitely like over 6 foot, 250 pounds. It's
I
like
will say
a
it
lot of
did
force.
look like he didn't put everything into it. As bad as that looked, it looked like he didn't put everything
Yeah,
behind that. I'll say that.
no, yeah, he's not a karate
Like,
kicker.
because if he'd have put everything behind it, he,
He
he'd have
he doesn't
went
have the
way further.
technique to. I don't
Yeah,
think it didn't. He didn't look like he knew what he was doing with on how to administer a kick like that. But you don't have to be when the guy is like feet shorter
yeah, a
than you
little
and
part.
has
Yeah,
no
yeah.
fucking arms. I'm gonna get in a fight with a guy with no arms.
Pretty easy to win a fight against a guy with no arms.
I'd probably lose that fight.
Would you?
I'd find a way to lose that fight. I would definitely, somehow I would lose that fight if I fought a guy with no arms. And then,
Oh, I did want to mention. So you were talking about the Kennedy assassination today. Of course, that's the biggest thing in history today. It is. This was my parents' anniversary, which is the only reason I was able to remember Kennedy's assassination day because I knew it was the same day my parents got married, which I think is an odd day to get married. If I'm being honest, you know what I mean? Like my mom was a huge John F. Kennedy fan. She
maybe. Well,
adored him.
yeah, that's a
And
weird day. Yeah.
I think that I kind of feel like that was a low key gaslighting move of my father to like have the wedding day be the same day that Kennedy got shot. I mean, my dad, he was like a next level gaslighter. You know what I mean? Like this dude was so good. You know, like he was. I'm still
Wow.
trying to unlearn the shit that he taught me.
No,
Like,
yeah. We all are.
right.
Yeah, parents. Well, and then I'll get somebody in the chat room saying, "I love my parents."
Right. Right.
Everything that's wrong with you, or every person on the planet, everything that's wrong with you can be directly attributed to your parents.
I mean, kind of, sort of. I mean, it's definitely a big factor.
Yeah. Now, the Kennedy, it's more than just John F. Kennedy being assassinated, because it is the loss of innocence of the American
Oh yeah.
people, where we first learned to fucking distrust the government and feel like
Right.
everything's a setup, everything's a conspiracy, and we're still
Right.
seeing the ramifications of it today. But H.W. Bush, George Herbert Walker Bush, passed a law 25 years from now, they have to
Yeah.
release. Now, that was going to be in Trump's first year. Trump promised to release all the information. He didn't. Biden said he would. He didn't. Now, I'm not a big RFQ fan at all, and don't really. I don't trust that guy at all. But I'm certain that if he did get elected, he would release the information, because
Oh, of course. I mean, of course, why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he?
why wouldn't he is probably the threat of being killed. Um he's very conscious of the
Yeah, but
fact
that's
that
also
Kennedy.
like the most traumatic thing that happened to your fucking family, bro.
Yeah. No,
You know what I
I
mean?
get that.
Like
He
you would,
definitely
like if you had the ability to uncover the truth about the biggest tragedy of your family, like how would you not do that? I don't care what the consequences are.
right, I get it,
I'm getting that out
absolutely. But he is also highly cognizant of the fact that his name carries a lot of bullets,
there.
or potential. He's concerned about being killed before he even gets to be president, which that happened to his father. So yeah, it's a legitimate concern. But I do
Sure.
think he would probably, and which I think is the one good reason why, if there is a deep state, if he gets taken out beforehand, that would lead me more to think that there is some people in the government trying to protect secrets. I don't know why
Well,
Biden hasn't. I don't know why Trump didn't release
Well,
stuff.
my guess is that I think, and this is just me shooting in the dark here, but my guess would be that the information that it contains is so damning that it would immediately, like people would immediately uprise. You know what I mean?
Why
I think
all
there's
these years later? What would make you
because
revolt
if
against the
the
United
if the
States?
cover up was so bold and so clear. You know what I mean? To where it created an immediate distrust of the government to an irreparable level, which we're already probably pretty much at anyway.
What
But it would
what would
be
that be
the
though?
proverbial straw.
What would it look like? Like LBJ or Johnson ordered the killing of the vice
I
president
mean,
ordered the killing of the president. That would make
okay,
people
question.
freak out.
Where was LBJ out of again?
Dallas,
Oh, okay. So
Texas, and
if
it happened
you
in his town.
yeah, I mean that don't make fucking sense to you, bro.
No, it totally makes sense. People have been saying that for
Yeah,
years, but
I mean yeah, and
I don't
so
think that
like
would shock people into saying, "All right, we got to go Venezuela now. We got to, rioting in the streets over finding out that Johnson was part of it," because that's been part of the conjecture ever since. The other part,
yeah, but
if the
there's a
CIA
difference
did, go ahead.
there's a difference between it might have been this and we know it was this.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
absolutely.
speculation and knowing it for a fact are two very different things that bring about two very different emotions. You see what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah, no,
Like
definitely, and
because like for instance, like there was a situation that happened with me and I'm pretty sure that my sister made it to where my brother-in-law didn't tell me the truth because she was afraid of what would happen. Um, but when I had a deal that was I had a show for Nashville that was supposed to be like a huge deal, and it ended up being complete BS. And it was just somebody building me up for a gig that was never going to be, and seeing if I was going to pump it up and say stuff, before I should have, which I ended up not doing or whatever. But I was still very excited about the deal and everything. And what ended up happening is when Danica got apprehended and had to go back for her absconding, literally, which was a very emotional thing to have happen for me. And then the next day, I found out that that whole thing was a sham, that it was bogus. And like the combination of those two things, if I'd have known for sure who was behind it, I probably would have went after them. And
wow.
my brother-in-law at the time is a very tech savvy person. This fucking I had to tell him, I had to tell my sister to never do this to me again because she messaged me one day while I was traveling and said something very specific about my location. And like I had said nothing to anyone about where I was or whatever. So I knew that in order for her to know that specifically, that her husband had to have pinged me with my cell phone, which is totally illegal and shit like that. But he's
I,
very good tech wise and can do all sorts of stuff. And so I asked him to backtrack the emails that I got and find the source. And like I said, this guy's been able to do anything I've ever asked him to on a computer. And when I asked him to do that, like for weeks and weeks, like I was badgering this dude about the information, and he couldn't find. He's like, no, I'm just getting bounced around everywhere, blah, blah, blah. I can't do anything. I can't. I don't know. But if I'd have known for sure, like I'd have handled that. You know what I
wow.
mean? Because I'd have felt, I have a speculation. I have a strong speculation. There's only two people in my mind that it could be. You know what I mean? And but because I never knew for sure, I just let it go. But if I'd have known for sure, that shit would have been handled. And it's unfortunate that I feel that way because that's all that stuff that I'm trying to get rid of. That's that stuff that we talked about. How I always have to be mindful now with two felonies that if I get out of pocket, that's the rest of my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and so I'm really trying to root. those kind
Yeah,
of reactions out of
I
my
would just
brain.
say you're not allowed to kill anybody.
Right. Well, of course, of course. I mean, it goes, but
You're not allowed.
uh,
We're not going
right.
to
Thank
allow
you.
it. We
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. If I kill someone, I'm definitely off the show. Okay, I get it.
yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
We can't be having murder go on
Yeah, we
around
can't have
here.
that. No.
Um,
I, dude, and you want to know something? I want to tell you something, dog. I appreciate being on this show very, very much because sometimes I think it helps me not kill people.
I know. I know. Me
You know what I
too.
mean? It helps keep me sane and grounded and okay.
Oh well, let's not throw sane in there. Grounded, okay. We
You're
don't have
right.
to.
You're right. I have no right using the word sane in reference to me. That's I'm crazy
Yeah.
as shit.
Uh, yeah. Now we are coming up. By the way, we're still on PBM TV. Looks good. I can't use the chat room there, and I think you have to be logged in to use the chat room. Please do use the chat room there. We won't be able to see your comments there, but I'll go back and check every once in a while and be able to comment on any of your chats. But if you want to get into the real chat room, one of the main chat rooms is on YouTube. My channel, it's called YouTube .com/minddog. You can go there that way, or you can check out the Facebook pages. Those chat rooms seem to work good. Now, you mentioned your ex brother-in-law. I don't know if there's ever an ex brother. I think he's your brother-in-law for life. If he ever is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of weird because he kind of put my sister through hell towards the end of their marriage.
Uh,
Like he, it
all right. Well, he was tech savvy. That's the point that I'm getting at. Because
right.
this is the time of year, and I've been getting it a lot lately. With the scammers are just like insanely aggressive and attacking. I got two this morning. Uh, One I was able to figure out was Russian bots trying to get my email stuff. I was able to find that out before I followed through on it. It basically comes through as your email provider saying your storage is used up. You got to clear your cache. Click this link. But I've been getting a ton of those yesterday and today, and in the recent weeks. It's just like so people got to be aware of all this kind of stuff. People are trying to scam people every which way, and one of the ones selling a couple of refrigerators on marketplace. They belong to my father-in-law who who passed, but we just bought them. They were brand new refrigerators. One is a college room type one, and the other is a small, 10 cubic foot freezer refrigerator, and put them on marketplace. One woman, the profile was a woman's face. I should have checked out when she started communicating with me that she had no friends on Facebook, which is a dead giveaway that it's not a
Yep.
real person.
Yep.
She went through all the stuff. Where do you live? I gave her my address. Duh. Will you take less for it? Like it was listed at 75. I let it talk me down to 50. Going to make the deal. Do you take Zelle? And I had an issue with Zelle. Some hackers trying to get through, and my bank said, "Don't put Zelle on your account." Zelle is notorious for letting hackers in, and it's a very common app that people use for banking. So I didn't have Zelle when
No
she asked for
kidding. Yeah, I
Zelle.
didn't know that.
Yeah. So I said no when she said Zelle, and I'm not adding Zelle to my stuff. I said I can take Venmo or PayPal. So she said, okay, Venmo works. I gave her my email address. She said she paid me check. I went to Venmo. There's no money there. I checked my email, nothing. And then in my junk folder, there's a message from Venmo Payment Services saying, somebody sent you money, but we can't add it to your account because your amount that you're allowed to collect has been exceeded. I was like, that doesn't sound right. So they want me to pay $250 to get $50 to overpay and then get a refund back from this person. I'm like, this sounds scammy. And I looked it up. I told the person, forget it. But now I'm worried they have my address. They have all my information. Scammers, who knows what they might be doing, check. Why would you even ask for my
Well,
address? Or
I wouldn't worry too much about them having your address because these keyboard warriors are too much of pussies to be doing like physical fucking crimes. That's why they're doing it on the internet.
right.
Um,
I
I
got
mean,
another one to
it takes a
say.
different sack level to fucking enter someone's home.
So that refrigerator has been listed as sold and taken down, even though it's not sold, because I jumped the gun on that. And then I got another scam call for the other refrigerator somewhere around 6 p.m. last night. So there,
Probably the same person.
I don't think so.
Well,
Well,
even if
another
it's not like
because
listed as it, it
if
probably
they
is another.
figured out, if I figured out their scam the first time, they would say, no, he's not worth it. We'll just move on to another person.
Yeah, maybe, perhaps.
But
I
so
mean,
there,
they almost always tip their hat. If you know anything about scammers and what they're up to, and the one thing I know about scammers is they can never talk right. They always speak in a way that just somebody from America that has always spoke English, they've never talked that way. You
right.
know what I mean? Like they've
And the
never
thing
put
was,
these
this was
words in.
$50 for this dorm room refrigerator. It's like, why do we need to Venmo this? Can you just bring me $50 cash? I
Right?
mean,
Yeah, that's when you pick it up. Yeah, bring me 50.
you gotta come to pick it up anyway.
Yeah.
Might as well just bring the cash with you. But I guess the point I'm making here is just people be hyper vigilant this time of year because they're coming out of the woodwork. I don't know
Yeah.
why the holidays are the scammiest time of year, but
Well, because I think they probably feel like people are looser with money around this time of year. You know what I mean? People are, people are probably more trusting a little bit. They're trying to get deals. All sorts of stuff factors in. But it's definitely the most. It's probably the most money flowing time of year here in America, at least. You
yeah.
know what I mean?
It's the
Um,
most scammiest time of the
I was thinking,
year.
hey, because I want to do serious music, but bro, I would be killer. I could write a ton of fucking parodies because, like,
Oh, well, here's
I
what you got to do. Here's what you need to do. If you're going to do parodies, you need to create an alter ego type of, a fake persona and do it under
okay,
another name so that you
okay,
don't damage your. I'm taking from
the
somebody who
other
has
music stuff,
damage.
okay,
Yeah, no, but I was thinking about the other night. One of my very first songs was "I Want to Break Your Hands" when I was a teen when I was a teenager, and it would always got requested. But I think I kind of set myself in a mold starting very young as like a guy who just writes goofy, funny songs,
yeah.
and so right from that get go,
I
nobody
do
ever
have
wanted.
one parody on my YouTube. Have you heard it? Have you listened to it?
No.
Yeah, it's to the Louis Capaldi's "Someone You Love." And it's called Her Favorite Towel, and it's about a dude that when his girl is on her period, she doesn't want to have sex or give him a blowjob or anything, so he masturbates into her favorite towel instead.
Well, that's healthier than the sock thing. I don't understand the sock thing, but somebody was on Twitter the other day. And there was a joke about jerking off in socks, and it appears that a lot of guys like to jerk off into a sock, and
Yeah,
I
I've never
don't.
done it either. It's always seemed weird to me as
It's
well.
fucking weird as hell. Like,
Yeah.
what you can't afford paper towel? What? Yeah.
Well, and I mean, honestly, I like, yeah, I mean, I
So
don't know.
what
I
the
use
fuck
shirts
socks?
usually.
Like, you got to put that on and get eventually. That's one kink I just. And there's lots of kinks that just I can't understand, but jerking
Yeah.
off into a sock is something I
Yeah,
totally.
I don't like it because mainly because I don't like I'm not a feet person. Like feet kind of gross me out. So like it's just like I don't want anything that's on my feet on a regular basis on my skin.
Exactly. You're gonna have to put
Yeah.
that sock on again.
Yeah, like fuck no, dude. I'm not touching my dick with a sock. What the fuck is wrong with you?
And what happens
Like,
if you get athlete's dick?
right? Oh my god. Oh my god. I mean, oh god. Just oh
Why you
god.
always scratching your dick like that? I got athlete's dick. It gave my wife athlete's mouth. Uh,
Um,
I don't know. I don't know if that fungus virus, whatever that is, fungus can be spread like
to
to
your
other
penis?
parts of.
Yeah, that'd be
That's
bad.
fucked up. Yeah, I got to change the subject before my brain gets too dirty.
Oh,
Um,
okay. So let me tell you about last night. So we're definitely going to get some more wrestlers. We're going to get some wrestlers on the show. I talked so Nick Eugene Densmore. He is a wrestler that used to be. He's a former WWE wrestler. He played the character Eugene that was like an autistic relative of a, I think Mr. McMahon. I think he was Mr. McMahon, like autistic nephew or whatever. But he was a wrestler, and he had a good run for a couple of years, and now he does like independent wrestling stuff. He used to run Midwest All Pro Wrestling. Um, but anyway, so I talked to him last night, and he definitely wants to come on the show. He's super excited about it, and I think that could definitely open the door to get in some more wrestlers from that point forward too. So
Dinsmore, not Densmore, right? Nicholas
yeah,
David Dinsmore.
DEN.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, that's cool. Now, PBM TV, we got to come up with a shortened version of that. Uh, PBM TV has got a deal now with a West Coast Wrestling Federation. I think there's still these regional areas. I was surprised because I thought it was all like under one big national thing right now. But Corey said if we know anybody involved in other regional stuff, regional wrestling federations and stuff, put them in touch with him for PBM TV. Love to get, I don't know,
Yeah, we could
nationwide.
definitely do that. I'm
Yeah,
sure. I'm sure that the flagship wrestling here in Sioux Falls would love to have that exposure.
right. Uh, Now you know about this guy. I can't think of his name now. He was running a thing out of Las Vegas. He was a big time celebrity in Vegas. He got killed over a wrestling his wrestling stuff. And it's like on one of these cold case files shows. The guy was like a really flamboyant, character. Big Jim or something like that. Not Deacon Jim, something like that. But it's one of these cold case files. He got killed. He was in a spat with mobsters that had a strip club right next to his auto body place, and ended up dead in a motel. They smeared cocaine all over his face, like to make it look like he didn't know he was a
Right.
drug addict who couldn't figure out how to snort coke, so he just got it all over his face. Whatever, and he died of a heart attack. I overdosed, but there was like um some hooker or something that was in the room, and they're saying that she was working for the mob and she actually injected him or something. Oh, it's always
What
fucking
year was this? How long ago?
not that it was like early 2000s that he got killed, but it's like a cold case thing on Unsolved Mysteries or something. I don't go. I caught it on
Yeah, I don't
Netflix.
know about that, but I'll have to look it up.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with that in the least.
Yeah, you know what, next week or something, I'll look it up and we'll talk about that because it's an interesting case. And
Yeah,
I
no,
didn't know there was still all these small like wrestling
yeah,
rackets. I
yeah.
thought it
Oh,
was
yeah. There's independent wrestling all over the place. All over the place.
uh, that's so weird. I just thought it was like in one big business and one big like Vince McMahon
Well, I mean,
controlling all of it.
like Impact Wrestling and WWE, and probably TNA. I don't know if TNA is still a thing or not, but those are the big ones, and those are the ones making money. It's kind of like comedy in this way. Like all those independent wrestlers and stuff, they're making very very little money for each of those shows. They're doing it because they love fucking wrestling. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Because I guarantee you, pretty much any wrestler on those small circuits probably has another side gig. You know
right.
what I mean?
I had a kid who worked for me as a graphic artist who quit to become a professional wrestler. He wasn't all that big, but I followed him on Facebook for a while. He was working steady as a professional wrestler. He's not much big. He wasn't really bigger than me, and definitely not at the time. I was a lot more muscular than him. But
Yeah.
Johnny Clash was his wrestling name. Johnny Clash.
Johnny
I got to
Clash.
check on how he's doing now. Uh, it's all wrestling gay. I mean, because I had David Monster on who does the Rowdy Armstrong books, and Rowdy Armstrong is gay wrestling. And I asked him, I said, "What's the difference between gay wrestling and regular wrestling?" Because the objective is still the same: to rub your balls over the other guy's face while you got him down on the mat. It's all seemed gay to me. And he said, yeah, I mean, all these guys would post it. And why would they get all homoerotic, greased up, whatever that stuff is they put themselves on, and they wear those tight. You don't need to wear tight. I
Well,
don't
not
know.
all of them do.
Tighties.
Just for the record. I mean, but yeah, no, I get it. It is the main costume is like tight tights and speedos.
Yeah. So the object is to get the other guy
Shaven,
down,
shaven
fucking rub your
chest.
balls all over his face, and say, "I won."
Yeah, I mean, that is. So I will say that the one thing about wrestling that I've always thought was a little weird is why are these guys never more careful about not putting their junk right over somebody's faces or covering them or whatever? Because that
yeah.
happens. It happens a lot. It really does.
That's why
And that's
even
gross. That's
even
so,
in
dude.
high school, that's
Yeah.
why I got out of it. I went for the wrestling team, and then it's like nothing is like you're gonna reach around my balls. That's a little uncomfortable. I was a very homophobic kid, and to me, it's like I don't want to. I'm fine with fighting. Yeah, let's fight. But if you're gonna start jiggling my balls, well, I'm out. I'm out. Anyway.
Usually if balls get involved in a fight that I'm involved in, it's
One gets
generally an
lost.
act of desperation.
One gets lost.
I'm not faring well, and we need to turn the tide.
Yeah. I couldn't help but giggle every time Barry was telling you put all your balls in this fucking when he's talking about the
Yeah. Put
put
your
all your
balls in the lottery thing. Yeah.
He already put his last ball in there. Come on.
Yeah. For a guy with one nut, I got a lot of balls. I know that. I get told that all the time because I'm very willing to do crazy shit.
All right. I have to get to a show today, so we don't have. I want to end on time, and here's the thing.
Oh, okay.
When we say goodbye to Govs at 10:45, I got to also remember to say goodbye to PBM TV at 11 my time, because
okay.
And this
we
is
should
a
do
new.
a commercial. We haven't done a commercial.
I know I'm going to do a commercial, and then
okay, all right. I'm sorry.
your friend Ian is here, and
I heard the pop.
Oh, you did? I wasn't sure if you heard the pops because sometimes you don't know that you don't make any comment about or even seem to know that somebody's waiting to come in.
Well, I don't know if you want me to or not because isn't it kind of unprofessional? I shouldn't say.
Wait, we are professional. Since when are there any professionals?
True. Good. Solid point. All right.
I think we had a professional on once. It didn't go well.
Right. They were very disappointed.
I'm looking for a commercial to play. What I want to play, I don't want to go like the long naked wines thing because we just talked.
I'm gonna run and get coffee when you play this.
All right, because I don't. You know what? We already talked about wrestling being homoerotic. I don't want to play the naked wines thing and just exacerbate.
Right, that would just put it over the top.
Let's go with Creative Live. If you want to increase your creativity, there's 70% off site-wide sale. Over 2,000 courses in creativity. Find out about it right here, right now.
It's time to unleash your creative excellence. Dreams won't work if you don't. They never happen overnight, and they rarely follow a straight line. Excellence is a result of the hustle, consistently pushing to do better. And success looks different for everyone. CreativeLive.com charts paths and tailors content for students, but they also encourage independent thinking and exploration. Go outside of your comfort zone. Who knows, you might actually like it. Right now, you can get up to 70% off through this exclusive offer for Coffee with the Dog. CreativeLive.com has site-wide sale for Coffee with the Dog listeners. Save up to 70% off. Go to minddogtv.com and click on the link on the homepage now.
The screen you are looking at is a reminder that Black Friday is coming up this Friday, and there'll be lots of ridiculous sales and ways for you to waste your money. But that's not enough, folks. They're not content. And listen, why get on a line to beat somebody up for a doll or whatever you're getting for a kid or toys or whatever gift you have, why even bother? In the age of internet shopping, you can get it all online. But that's not enough. They wait Monday at work. They plan on getting you again with Cyber Monday, lures of what seem to be sales, which are really the actual everyday prices. They just mark it up so they can mark it down. Stay away from that shit and don't waste your money. That's my point here. Your friend Ian Relland, is it Relland?
Ian
Ryland.
Ryland Smith.
You know what I found out about him on the internet?
You said very little, which I'm
Well,
surprised at because he
here's
did
what I
a lot
found
of
out.
goon shows.
I found out that he was born in Glasgow, Scotland in 1864 and died in someplace in Ohio in 1912. So we're happy to have him on the show today. He's the first actual dead guest that we've had on. Been dead for over 100 years, and apparently Willie's going to be roasting him on Saturday night. Say hello
Should be
to
pretty
Ian.
easy if he's that dead.
He looks pretty good for being dead. All those years, especially 100 years being dead, you look really good. Welcome, Ian.
Do you know who this person is he's speaking of?
Being dead, you don't have to eat anything. So I've gone 100 years with no cheeseburgers, no GMOs. So that keeps my skin looking real nice and good.
Very cool. Now this roast, are you ready for it? Are you prepared, or will you get hurt? Will you get your feelings hurt? Are you okay with it?
I don't think anybody is going to be able to roast me any more than I already roast myself.
Well, that's
like
good.
I'm gonna get real nitpicky about things. I'm gonna talk about things that no one even notices. Like none of the viewers on this show are gonna know about my weird knees.
No, that's what I was saying. It's hard. Part of the thing about a roast is the familiarity with the person being roasted helps it be funny. And if people don't know about your proclivities or any of that kind of stuff people are going to be making fun of, it's hard for them to laugh at it. It just feels like being mean. Well, they're just bullying the guy.
Yeah, I mean, I just have one of those faces. You just want to say things at me that you just want to bring me down. It's
yeah. Now
the downside is I kind of like it. So when women do it, I think they're flirting with me, and I'm just like, hey, you want to waste 3 months of each other's time?
Wow. Well, yeah, I get that. Believe me, I can relate to that. That's not the right thing. I thought I had your Facebook page in here, and I got the human being diet from yesterday in there. I will get that anyway. So
I
tell
do
us.
want to point out that Ian is the reigning comic of the year in Sioux Falls.
That is true. Yes.
As opposed to the snowing comic of the year.
It was snowing when I got that award.
Yeah, well, I was going to mention that before when we were talking about your dates until January. There's like, why Sioux Falls this time of year? Why not Key West? Key West would be the place.
That's a solid point.
I mean, I don't mind Sioux Falls, but Sioux Falls in June, July, August is
too hot.
I am trying to book
too hot in those months.
The end of January.
Wow, too hot.
You want Sioux Falls in either May or October.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those are the good months.
Yeah, like the end of September, October. Yeah, because that is when it's the perfect temperature.
That's the perfect time. That's the perfect temperature. This past week, sometimes Novembers are pretty good too. Sometimes Novembers they're kind of like an extension of October where you get that. It's it's like jacket season.
Can you see my mind being blown right now? I think people who haven't really spent a lot of time there or only passed through there on their way over to the West Coast think it's cold all year round.
Nope.
To find out it gets too hot there is kind of a revelation to me.
Oh yeah, it gets hotter than a lot of coastal places.
And
we get hotter than Florida sometimes.
It's real heavy. Heavy hot.
And it's humid too.
So the reigning what was reigning champion? What was reigning comic of the year?
Comic of the year.
How does that come about? Is that a like a festival, something you enter? How does that? Who names that? Is a contest that you actually enter to get that crown, or
Yep.
what's it all?
Well, our local comedy club had this monthly contest, and they decided that at the end of the year, they'd get all the monthly winners from all the months of the year to get together and go against each other for the year title, and I won.
And who decides that? The audience, or the is like there a panel of like
There was a panel
comedy
of
experts?
judges.
Yeah, I
There was a
like that.
panel of judges.
Are they professional comedians, or are they club
No,
owners?
they are just randos, pretty much.
Ah,
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
wow,
They were last year. They were people who had never seen comedy in Sioux Falls. So
wow.
I was
And
there.
this year will be the last
So-
Comic of the Year competition, at least
Never
as far
seen-
as bosses goes.
Never seen comedy
Yeah.
in Sioux Falls. That I can tell you, I fit that bill. I've never seen comedy in Sioux Falls, but
Oh,
I've
you
never
want to
seen.
come judge the competition in January?
No,
Is that what you're
I've
saying,
never
Matt?
seen it. I've never seen anything in Sioux Falls other than I've never been to Sioux Falls. I've driven through South Dakota, but I think pretty much it's so oblivious and stoned that I didn't even notice it was there.
You know, maybe I could talk to Jay. I'd probably have to recuse myself from competing, but maybe we could talk to Jason. We could get you, Jackie, and GD for our judges. That'd be great.
Jackie's not going to South Dakota. I can promise you that.
Especially in January, he'd be like, "Fuck you."
Yeah, I asked him to go to Georgia for 10 grand, and he was like, "Fuck that." Like,
Really? He wouldn't go to Georgia for 10 grand?
Yeah, that's not worth it for him for a night in Georgia.
Wow.
Right.
I guess when I do shows with Jackie, it'll be in New York. Holy cow!
You would hope so. Anyway, so now with the roast, do you select who selects the people? Who are doing the roasting?
Well,
You?
it's kind of a volunteer basis. We asked who wanted to do it, and a lot of people wanted to do it for some reason. I don't understand.
There's like 12 comics on the roast.
Yeah, they were falling over each other.
Yeah.
And these are all 12
there's 12
comics that like me. Like, there's some
Right.
comics in Sioux Falls that don't like me, and I considered putting them on the roast because I was like, well, maybe I want to hear some genuinely mean things. But then I was like, they're not as funny as these people who like me, though. So
Yeah.
Right.
Ever have a fight break out at a roast?
a fight break out at a roast?
Yeah, a good old fashioned knuckle.
That would certainly be interesting, but
It would.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like somebody said something that went too far, and the person gets up and just
Yeah, or because generally it is people that like you. As far as the roast that I've seen, they're friendly, and even though people are giving you jabs, there's not a lot of hate behind it. But then if you get one guy who's just got a thing for you on the fucking local circuit or something, and doesn't like you, and then starts jabbing like mother jokes.
You can't make fun of my mom.
Don't make fun of mothers. Mothers are
don't make fun of your mom. Is that
don't make fun? Yeah, don't make fun of my mom in particular.
Yeah.
Sometimes I bait people into doing it. It's like, oh, you're gonna make fun of my mom, huh? And then they're like, yeah, your mom's ugly. It's like, oh, my mom's in a wheelchair. You better watch it.
Yeah. You know that that video that went viral? Hey, what's your name, Tony? Yeah, fuck you, Tony. The guy's on the island across the water, and he says he starts to talk about mother. Don't you talk about my mother? Don't you? He said, you see that fire next to you? What looked like a fire next to you? He took the mind over. He said, yeah. He goes, I fucked your mother on that last night. It's like, some reason mothers always end up the reason for the fight breaks out. Don't you talk about my mother? Anyway, how much time do people get now for roasting? Will, you're going to be doing it, right? You're one of the roasters.
I am. I have not been told what a time limit is. I never pay attention to that anyway because I just, I'm a winger. But yeah, with 12 people, I would imagine. And that's going to be the thing. I think what's going to end up happening. I'm just projecting what might take place. I think what's going to end up happening is like the first 6 comics are going to go way too long, and then everybody after that is going to have to like hurry the fuck up so like, I don't know. Who
Yeah,
knows?
no,
I mean, I don't know if they care how long the show goes or whatever. I think as long as it's entertaining and fun, nobody's going to care how long it is. I will say that, especially the Club David atmosphere is very chill and cool and accepting, and like it's a good vibe at that place. And so
Hmm.
if the show goes long, I don't think it'll be a problem. But
No,
I do think that the early ones will probably do a lot more than the later ones.
now, is there any with the comic of the year thing? Is there like a belt you wear for that? Is there some kind of something
they
you get?
didn't have one.
They didn't have one.
They didn't have
Oh,
a
that's
belt.
disappointing.
I don't have a belt that I carry around. It's really a shame.
Not even
I kind of wish I
not even
had
a
a belt.
plaque or a piece of paper. Something you could have. I don't know.
No, they gave me $200, which was nice.
Oh, that's nice.
That's
200.
nice.
200.
Yeah, I spent that already, but yeah,
Yeah, I bet I would spend it that night.
yeah,
With
that
yeah,
that was that was
He
my weed
probably
for the
did
month.
on weed.
yeah, yeah. So now at the end of the year, when you have to give up the title, or maybe you don't, can you get it 2 years in a row?
Nope,
All
I
right.
gave it up.
So now, or do you have to, or you have to present the next winner with some kind of honorary? You've taken, you're taking my spot. Congratulations. Any kind of that kind of stuff.
I
Duties that
don't
go along
I
with the.
don't do that. That's up to the host
Ah,
of the show, whoever they decide to pick for that. I just do a set at the end of the show while they all tabulate.
um,
Oh, okay. Okay.
all right.
Oh, great. I didn't even know that. So you're going to do a feature set at the end of the Comic of the Year show?
Yep, I think
Oh,
so.
awesome. I didn't even know that. That's fucking great.
Very
I'm
cool.
supposed to.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
so cool.
Now for people like
I
me
mean, it makes sense.
Yep.
who think you're dead and died over 100 years ago, um, tell us something about what you do comedically. Are you a joke teller? You're a short joke teller. You're a storyteller. You're an insult comic. You're a prop comic. What? Give us an idea of what.
Incel comic. Wow.
he's,
I do
he's
I
an
do a lot of
experimenter.
things. I
Yeah.
I I go everywhere. I like to do stupid things. Like I like to say things so stupid that you think to yourself, "Oh my god, I didn't think I could hear something that stupid in my entire life."
That's good. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
And I also like to do educational things, teach people about things. Like I'm a musician, so I know things about music history. So I like to teach people about Beethoven and how he ravaged the music industry and had a huge crush on Judge Judy.
Wow, Judge Judy. She. That's a.
Yeah.
I think that's
She was a real smoke show back in the 1800s.
I doubt it. I don't. I doubt it. I
In
don't.
the 1800s?
Yeah, you can
Judge
go back.
Judy back when she was young?
Even when Moses was walking here, she was probably still ugly then.
You haven't
But
seen you haven't seen behind the bench.
underneath
She's
the
got
bench,
a
I've seen
dump
under the
truck
bench.
there. She's got a dump trunk under those robes and judginess. Like
Uh,
Mr. Judge Judy's a lucky fella.
yeah, but going back to who it started with, I like to say stupid things. That's a lost. There are very few. It used to be a common thing in comedy. Now, I think it's a lost thing because now it's every punching down on everybody is a trendy thing. You see very few people actually making themselves out to be dumb on stage, and I appreciate like Nate Bargatze. That's what I love about him is he's always playing the dumb guy. He's not dumb,
Right.
but the way he plays it makes the audience feel a little more comfortable. Like this guy's not talking down to me; he's talking down on himself, and now it makes it more relatable. So I
Yeah.
appreciate that. That's
And
a
I think a
lost
lot
art.
of a mistake a lot of people make when they try to do stupid things is, well, they're like, well, racism's pretty stupid. Why don't I be racist? And then they'll think I'm stupid.
Right? Yeah.
Well, yeah, they do think you're stupid, but now they also think you're racist.
Right.
And
How
So they hate you. Yeah.
yeah.
how long you
Rightfully so, by the way.
So what I
how
like to do is I like to purposefully misinterpret signs. Like when I go to a gas station, there will be a sign that says 20-minute parking only. And then I go to the cashier and I say, "So do I have to stay here for the whole 20 minutes or can I leave sooner?"
Well, it says only, so
Yeah.
obviously you
Yeah.
have to stay there the whole 20 minutes.
Don't even get me started on 72-hour parking. Woof. I was there for 3 days.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the signs. I have a whole video on the signs thing because sometimes, like in the middle of nowhere, you're walking along or driving along. There's a sign that it points an arrow, and like the arrow is like a mile and a half before you actually have to turn that. So, but I always
Right.
interpret it as okay, right here at the sign, I'm supposed to go, and
Right.
there's a woods there. I'm walking or driving into the woods because the arrow told me to. Yeah, I get that, man. The whole fucking sign stuff. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
How long you been performing?
About 4.5 years.
4.5 years. That's not too long to be reaching accolades like Comic of the Year and all that kind of stuff. It's, most people
He's
don't.
very clever. He's hardworking. He does a lot of gigs.
Yeah.
And
Practice.
during COVID, tell him about some of what you did during COVID.
Oh yeah, during the pandemic, there was a Zoom comedy going on.
Oof.
It's getting onto Zoom and meeting new people from all around the world, doing open mics, doing 3 or 4 every day. It was like I could do a month's worth of Sioux Falls comedy in a single day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Zoom stuff is really.
It
I
is
don't know.
really rough, and I
Yeah.
think Zoom actually helped me raise my standards like a lot. Because if
Yeah.
I can get a laugh on Zoom, I know I can get a laugh on stage.
Right. It's so fucking uncomfortable. Now, it's not at that point, it's not stand up unless you really are stand up. It's sit down comedy.
A little bit.
Yeah. I have a friend, Chris Monty, who did a Zoom show a stand up show from his apartment at the time. And it was pretty good. His wife and one of his neighbors, I guess, there were the audience. And he was actually doing a stand up show. And it was timed out well. And what struck me struck me as impressive was that he timed everything out so well. Like he timed the laughter pauses in between jokes. And that's a difficult thing to do because when there's dead silence, you're sitting there and counting, I guess, seconds to say when is it long
You're just
enough?
kind of waiting for laughter, like, are
It's
you
like,
guys gonna laugh?
yeah. So I think it could do more damage to your psyche because you're not hearing
A
any
little bit.
feedback.
Sometimes a live audience will laugh to some things that a Zoom audience won't laugh at.
Yeah.
And then there are some things that do actually work better on Zoom. I had like this American Idol bit that worked really well because I'd put the background on and I'd put various pictures on the background and then I'd sing very poorly.
That's great. That is
Yeah, it really only works in real life if I have a guitar player with me who can play the guitar part to "Dust in the Wind," and then I sing it very beautifully.
Wow. That's an oldie but goodie. Dust in the Wind. You mentioned you're a musician. What do you play?
I'm a percussionist.
Percussionist. Is that a drummer?
Yep, it's a drummer, but less sexy.
Okay. Well, because I know percussionists who are conga players. I know percussionists who are djembe players or whatever you call that dopey little box you sit on.
The hand drums.
Yeah, hand drum.
One of my favorite bits of Ian's is called "Terrible Things," right?
The depressing things, yes.
Depressing things. He does this bit with fucking finger symbols. That's goddamn genius level shit, bro.
I just say something sad or depressing, and then I ting the finger symbols together.
It's goddamn hilarious. I lost my shit the first time I ever saw it. I probably came very close to actually falling on the floor. I laughed so hard.
Yeah.
Wow.
This was like almost like 4.5 years ago. This was like kind of when I kind of at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Man, it was so good.
I even mentioned that in the bit. I say, people tell me this is my favorite bit, and I've had it since basically the very beginning. So what they're telling me is I haven't gotten better since I started.
That's an awful pessimistic view on that kind of stuff, but I would probably feel the same way.
Yeah.
What are you drinking there in the morning? You're not drinking coffee. You're drinking Mountain Dew. What do you got?
Diet Mountain Dew.
All right. Well, they
That's
are. Mountain Dew is a new sponsor of the program. No, they're not. I wish they were.
yeah.
Yeah, me too,
Little
bro.
product placement there, but
No, I drink Diet Mountain Dew.
first thing in the morning.
Yeah,
Wow! Before you
'cause
even
I'm
get out of your robe.
yeah, I'm not even out of my bathrobe yet. I just got done with my beauty sleep, and I think I
Now,
still need a little bit more beauty sleep. I'm kind of ugly still, so
well, for a guy who's been
Oh.
dead 112 years, 120 years,
Who
whatever the
is
hell.
this dead guy? Who is this other Ian Ryland Smith? You're killing me with
It
this.
was
I think
born.
that's my grandpa.
It probably is.
Probably great grandpa because he would die over 100 years ago. That's
Yeah, probably my great grandpa.
yeah.
Because I think he was born. My actual grandpa was 1928, and he lasted until 2012,
Right.
Wow.
Wow.
or was
Yeah.
it
That is a
22?
good long life.
He was 90. He was 90 when he died. He probably lasted a lot longer than I'm gonna last, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, the average age or the age expectation for males has dropped significantly in the United States. Now it's at 73. Just a couple of years ago, it was 78. So,
Really?
yeah, all of us are
Yeah.
probably. Yeah, well, you would think with all the medical advances and all the kind of stuff. Now, keep in mind, and I was trying to explain this to my friend who was my age at the old folks show the other night at the Pure Prairie League in Firefall. That all that means is that the people who are living 90, they're still living 90 or 100 years old. It just means a lot more people are dying at 40 and 30, and
Well, okay, but
it's
don't
an
you think
average.
like the spike in like fentanyl overdoses
Yes,
and
exactly.
stuff
That's
like
where I
that?
was going with
I
that.
mean, that affects that number.
How
and
many
shit like that.
30-year-olds are dying from overdoses now compared to 10 years ago? A lot more. So that brings
Right.
the average down. So it's not like
And like think about the young people that died during COVID. You know what I mean? Like that definitely. But of course, we probably lost more old people during COVID than young
I'm
people.
certain more fentanyl killed more people in COVID. Especially here. I mean, they would drop 30-year-olds were dropping like flies. And 30 was the number. So if
And
you
then there's also mental health for men. Like men aren't very good at mental health because they
Yeah.
bottle it up, and they're taught from a young age that they have to bottle it up and that you can't seek help.
you think women are good at mental health?
They certainly are going to therapy more than men are, and they're
Yeah,
killing
I think they're
themselves a
more
lot
expressive.
less.
Yeah, more
Are
expressive.
they
with
killing
their
themselves a lot
emotions.
less?
They are
Oh,
killing
yeah.
themselves less than men.
All right,
Oh, yeah.
I'll look that up. We'll fact check that.
I bet you that's at least a 20% difference.
No, yeah, it's actually a very wide margin. Men kill themselves a
Yeah.
lot more than women.
You guys continue the conversation. I'm fact checking.
So I have a question. You had mentioned something about you have
4
this
times
album.
more, by the way. Males die by suicide 3 to 4 times more than females.
Yeah, so it's
Okay.
quite significant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 to
Because
1.
men have this thing called, I know some of you may not like this word, but it's called toxic masculinity, not to be confused with normal healthy masculinity, but the toxic
Right.
stuff. The dudes do to each other that are just not nice. We're not nice to each other. We're not supportive. Whenever we show vulnerability, we're alienated for it instead of our buds coming together and be like, hey, cheer up, bro, we got you.
Right. Like, yeah, there's there's very much two schools of thought there. There's those guys that say, yeah, sure, we got you, you're gonna get through this, and then there's others, quit crying, you pussy. You're like,
Yeah,
what kind of
man
man
up.
are you? You know what I mean? Like, and those are terrible friends to have. I totally agree. You know what I mean? I want a friend that wants to help me like feel it and get through it and know that it's gonna be okay.
I'm
Exactly.
wondering if what actually gets tallied into these suicides. So, like overdoses can be called suicide, even though they're not necessarily meant to be that.
Right.
And also a lot of male behavior that could end up in death. It's like borderline
Right.
suicide. If you're jumping off a building as a whatever they call those
Parkour guy?
yeah, parkour
The
guys,
parkour guys,
right?
that are doing,
And you die. Is that suicide or not?
right.
Yeah, that also makes me think of a subreddit called r/why women live longer, and it's just a bunch of videos of men just doing very stupid and dangerous stuff.
Right.
Totally, I
right?
get it. I mean,
I'm
I've
surprised.
done
I got to be in
plenty
some
of
of those.
stuff that if I would have died, they would have probably labeled it a suicide. I jumped out of a moving car on LSD, probably going about 40 miles an hour, and survived that. But I'm certain if I would have died, they would have called it a suicide.
I
So
mean, if you die because you're depressed, but if you die because you're stupid, is that still both mental health issues?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I mean, kind of.
yeah.
I mean,
People,
if you jump off a cliff because you're sad, is it any different because than jumping off a cliff because you thought you could do a cool flip on the way down? Both of those sound like mental illness to
Or,
me.
yeah, you're
or,
right.
and
I think
actually,
you're right.
like, even worse than that. Like, imagine, like you're out, you're out on this cliffside or whatever, and you want to do a cool video of you doing a backflip and you just stumble a little bit and you go off the fucking cliff. You know what I mean? Like shit like that even happens. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like, and that'd be more of like somebody dying during parkour or something like that. But
that
there's
would
also
totally happen to me. I'm surprised. It's so fucking amazing that I'm still alive because I've done so much stupid shit that could have ended in accidental death, and I'm clumsy enough that it
yeah,
should have happened.
right.
But
You and me
somehow
both, bro.
it kind of leads, and I'm not a fucking religious or spiritual guy, but I gotta think there's probably some kind of guardian angel out there that's keeping me alive somehow. I don't know. I mean,
They want to see you do that flip.
yeah,
And
yeah,
that
or they
and,
just
and
want me
that
to sub.
angel is exhausted.
I know he's fucking drunk. I drove him to drink a long time ago, but
yeah.
I think it could be just a sadist who wants because at some time I was thinking about this last night, like uh, so at some point life becomes torture. The older you get, the worse life gets, and it just goes downhill. And I'm at the age where you can expect dementia to start, and Kelly would say it's probably already advanced dementia. Because she's mean and just a rotten person, but all those kind of things, debilitation starts to creep in, and then you become like you're waiting for somebody else to wipe your ass. And what does life become then? I'm thinking my guardian angel is like, let's just keep him alive so he can suffer longer. That's what.
Yeah.
Uh, so now with coming back to the roast is at David's, the David's Club David.
Love David. Yep.
How many people does the room hold? Audience members?
Um, Usually about, I want to say 100.
I
I'm
bet
used to
the
doing,
main room's got to be more than that.
yeah, probably. I'm used to doing some of the burlesque shows there. I MC the burlesque shows, and I even have a burlesque dancer coming in and dressing as me and doing a whole act.
Burlesque? They call it burlesque? I haven't. Wow. I mean, we just call them titty bars around here, but
It's slightly different than just a
No,
titty
yeah,
bar, you
yeah,
know.
yeah. Right.
With a titty bar, the girls are doing their own thing. There's no like organized show, but in a burlesque show, there's an organized show. Everyone does their act,
Yeah,
and
it's very presentation based. Yeah.
yeah, and the titties come out at the very end too. So
Yes. Right.
wow.
And you know what? Like Sioux Falls has a very vibrant burlesque scene, really, in my opinion, from what I've seen. Wouldn't you
yeah, I
agree,
love
Ian?
doing the shows there. I love
I,
that.
there is a burlesque. I know because I had somebody on. This is Kelly's right, dementia, or memory loss here, short-term memory loss. Had somebody on over this summer who does a burlesque show in New York City. But
Awesome.
I'm thinking that burlesque is probably more a Midwest type of experience than the big
I think
cities on the
maybe
coast.
because
I
it's
don't
more
know.
old timey a little bit. Maybe that
Yeah,
could be true.
I think so.
But it's
But
really entertaining. The burlesque show. So Ian hosted he was a co-host because you and Becky hosted that, right? Or
It was
no?
me and
Who?
Alyssa for
Oh yeah, you and
SuperCon.
Alyssa. Yeah, at SuperCon there was a 4 hour burlesque show, but it was fucking
Yeah,
amazing, and
yeah,
they did an awesome
huge
job
crowd.
hosting it. It was really really good. I mean, they had a great combination of different acts. Like they even had some aerial stuff, like some silk. I don't know what you call the people that do silks or whatever, but
Yeah,
some silk
aerialists.
acrobats or whatever. Yeah, aerials. Yeah, they had some
Yeah,
aerial acts. Was so it was amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
Wow, sounds
We
more
even
like
had
a
a comic. We
circus.
had Jerry Irby.
Jerry Irby was on that show. That's right.
So,
He's on the roast too.
this is one of the things I wanted to talk to Barry about the other day, Barry Katz, when he was on, is this idea of for some people, setting your goals and how you measure success doesn't always have to be this big time Hollywood success that he envisions for people. That you can have a life, a very successful life, in a small market. How do you kind of? What are your goals? What do you want to do with in comedy? Do you want to tour the country and be a road dog type of guy and put in 50 years to be, or gravitate to theaters and arenas and that kind of stuff? Or are you happy being a local club guy and can make a living at that? How do you measure
Uh,
success?
well, as much as being a local club guy would be great, there really isn't a way to make a living off of that.
Here
It'd be
there is. Yeah,
Yeah, in the
maybe
bigger markets, there probably is.
maybe
Sioux
not in
Falls.
Sioux Falls. Sioux
Right.
Falls definitely not, but other cities maybe. I would like to do some touring and do some shows and maybe some movies or something
Not
like that.
not to be like a play therapist here, but what stops you from doing that? Because if I were, and it seemed like you're a young enough man to be able to just go take your life in your own hands, and I don't mean that like in a suicide way. I mean take your destiny in your own hands and just go out and fucking do it. I mean, if you're willing, like I said to somebody the other day, if you're willing to go be hungry a few nights or sleep in your car or sleep in a bus station, why not? If that's what you want to do, you're not going to get
I,
a chance when you're my age. I can tell you that.
yeah, that's a good point. And yeah, I'm kind of feeling that pressure to leave this town and go out and actually do that whole destiny in my own hands thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, and I
My
can tell
advice to
you,
you would be do what you want to do while you still can, because you
yeah.
don't want to get to be my age and say I should have.
right.
Well, and even dude, like even at 42, so I'm 42 right now, and for me to do it in the way that I'm doing it, like I mean, Ian, you see it. Everybody looks at me like I'm fucking crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like. But I also know why I'm doing it and the eventual things that I know can happen from it. You know what
Well,
I mean?
I relate to
But it
what
gets
you're
harder
going
to
through.
do as you get older. I will say that.
I did it half-assedly in my 20s, and I didn't put enough. First of all, I wasn't blessed with a whole lot of talent, and I think you can't kid yourself about your level of talent, and I did. But I did the road thing half-assedly. What I'm advising you to do is just like throw caution to the wind. I did that, and lived in bus station, ate fish out of a can as fucking tuna out of a can was dinner at night, and that kind of stuff. But I still felt like at the end of the day, I gave up too soon. I got married young, and then or take on those responsibilities, and said, you know what, I'm going to be a local guy. I'm just going to do like cover bands and all this kind of stuff, and gave up on my dream or ambition, and then went back to it in my mid late 30s, and then started over as this is going to be. And so I totally relate to what you're going through. When I was 42, I felt like I was finally in my place doing what I wanted to do, but I also felt like, is it too late? That kind of idea,
Right.
and I got a lot of that. So it's a hard thing to do, but at the end of the day, I can tell you that I do regret not giving it my full in my 20s, and that's a haunting feeling, man. You don't want to get there. That's all.
Yeah.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Right.
And I
And
did.
I have to say, like I find Ian to be one of the most phenomenally talented people. He's like he has a music album called Plastic World that a lot of people don't like or whatever, but it's one of the most genius things I've ever encountered because it's a whole music album that he created where every song is progressively more difficult to listen to due
Yep.
to variances in what he did with the music. And
Yeah, it's a
but
highly disturbing album.
right, but like it's genius level shit, and it really speaks of your talent level a lot. And it's one of the reasons that I've always been very supportive of you and trying to encourage you, because I know what a genius you are. And like when you put, and I mean, some of your bits are some of the funniest shit. Like I fucking die over it. And
Um,
Thanks.
he's also willing to take risks. You know what I mean? Like he'll put something out there that he's pretty sure is gonna fucking just torture the audience. But there's a little bit about that that kind of tickles its fancy, and that's okay. And being able to do that sort of thing with your craft, bro, like that's going to take you to a different level because not everybody can do that shit.
let me ask you, Ian. Now, hearing Will rave about you, and as if you're not in the room, but you are in the room, does that make you feel uncomfortable, or do you soak that up as like, I'm soaking up the praise? Because to me,
I take what I can get. I do like getting praise. It does feel good. But
okay, no, because it is kind of weird. I don't know. For me, hearing that, I would not know. I don't accept compliments very well, and
me
especially.
neither. I soak up what I can get, but I when I get criticism, I take it to heart because I get so little criticism that every little mistake it feels like a big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay, so let's talk about that city bit. Is he has a bit about cities because
Yep.
we talked about that bit, and it's kind of a when you first started doing that bit, it seemed it seemed much more bludgeoning to the audience, and we talked about because there were
Yes.
there were lines of it that you thought were like really solid, and then other ones that you knew were kind of throwaway
We're
lines,
very
and
weak.
we
Yes.
right, and we talked about how to take that bit and take them on a ride with it instead of like a couple good ones and then some, like we and like you took that advice. And do you feel like that made? I feel like because I've seen the bit before and after we had that discussion, and I think that it like you were a receptive to it, you totally listened to it,
Yeah.
and I think that you found that I was right on base with how the
Yeah.
crowd would respond to that, right?
That was a good tip. I took
Yeah.
that one and I accepted it. And
Uh,
I like my ability to not be married to any bits
Yeah,
because I might think a bit is funny and then I tell it and then it's not so funny and then I'm like, oh well, I guess I won't use that one anymore. And
right.
that's it. Come up with a new
Carlos
one.
Valencia is he puts himself through hell, but it's so fucking funny. I find it funny. I'm surprised that a lot more people don't crack up the way I do because it's intentional. He does this comedy by proxy where he asks the audience to kind of write down jokes, and he reads them without giving any credit to him, and he reads them just as they are, and they're never funny. And he's just kind of reading this stuff, and he's getting himself murdered on stage, but and kind of making himself a martyr, like a sacrificial lamb on stage. But it's hysterical to watch. But the audience, most audiences don't seem to appreciate it. They get confused by it, and when a guy is putting stuff out there that he knows is going to challenge some people to see humor in it. To me, that's brave, but it's also kind of risky, and I don't know. To me, but I'm inspired by it. I love Carlos Valencia, and sounds like you're doing a little bit of the same kind of thing, challenging the audience a little bit to
A little
see
bit.
who gets it. If you get it,
Oh yeah.
yeah. Mike Chavola has asked if that robe part of his act. That would be very cool. If I could, and listen, I'm sure everybody. One thing comedians hate is when somebody tells them what to do. But I would laugh my ass off if he went to the roast exactly dressed exactly like you are right now.
Yeah. I think it'd be fun. I mean, I kind of when it's my day off, I like to be like the dude from Big Lebowski.
Yeah. No, I would definitely even, yeah, I know you probably can't smoke in the club, but that would be good. In a bathroom smoking with like a martini in one hand.
Yeah, I get the paperclip. I That's just the life. You know,
Now,
my day is off. My day off is Friday, but I call it Fried Day. You know.
fried. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I've used that quite a bit, and when because I am often fried by Friday anyway. Um, uh,
Fucking.
you, do you play another instrument other than percussion, like a tuned instrument? I shouldn't say because percussion is tuned.
Some
You know,
percussion's tuned, yeah.
yeah,
And if you want to get really technical about it, you can say all percussion instruments have pitch, even the pitchless ones, because all sounds have pitch. Yada yada yada.
yeah.
Um, but
But
sometimes,
I'm interested in how you write music if you don't play like piano or guitar or.
well,
Um,
that's the thing. I do play a little bit of piano too.
okay.
You do kind of have the schools make you learn piano in order to do percussion. You
Yeah.
know, just to kind of whittle out all the kids that don't want to learn notes.
Right.
Right.
And you do need to know the notes. You need to know the notes as a percussionist. You need to know that there's 12 of them and where they are.
Right.
Otherwise, it's going to be very confusing when you have a bassist and a guitarist being like, okay, so I'm going to go to C, and then I'm going to go to G, and then I'm going to go to D. And the drummer's like, what?
Well, it's time to say goodbye to Govs. Wow, time goes so fast these days, doesn't it? Bye,
Yeah.
Govs. Have a good Thanksgiving. Well, I'll be here for just for the people on the Govs network and on PBM TV. I will be here tomorrow cooking my bird, and I'm putting out the link to anybody and everybody in the public or who have been guests on this program. If they just want to stop in and say Happy Thanksgiving. I'll be talking about parades. I'll be talking about old time movies. I'll be talking about cooking and
You're gonna
anything
be
else
going
that
most of
people.
the day, right?
No, I'm going to start at 8 and probably go to 11, maybe 11:30 my
Oh,
time.
okay. Okay.
So I know not all day. And there are things I don't know how to cook. My wife made me get that I don't know how to fucking cook. So I might be asking for advice. I might be stepping out of the chair and just leaving it up to other people to run the show while I go check on the bird. But so goodbye for now, Govs. And you want to join me tomorrow for Thanksgiving? Love to have you. And when you're old like me and no family cares about you, you get a lot of time on Thanksgiving. And you know what? We could talk about football. We talk about anything you want. Come on, be part.